So, it's like, uh, so um, the whole issue is that there's going to be a lot of females and stuff, grimy out here and stuff, trying to keep the same power as it is in Jeremiah 31 and 22. And then there's also going to be a lot of males who have that feminine spirit. I don't care how tough they is. I don't care and stuff how good at fighting. The mentality and stuff is that of a woman's. If something is accidental, and they take it the wrong way, somebody ready to fight. And it looks so similar and stuff to how a female is when she's impulsive, you know? And, and that's the curse in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. What happens to being without a father, but even if you do have a father and stuff, what happened and stuff, does he get masculine tendencies? Where he the head of the household? Because you already know and stuff, they picture you and stuff. In order for you to be a real man, you got to have more tangible things and stuff that they can embark on, even if it's something and stuff that they imbued with you. In order for you to be a real man, in order for you and stuff to be a real man, you got to have a lot of tangible things. But then that double standard comes in when they should have nothing and still be considered a high value woman. Now, when it comes out of reality, and stuff, reality is the fact and stuff that guess what? That ain't the case. And part of reality is that it's going to get real fucking worse. So women and stuff will be forced with two options. Either stay the man and stuff that you like to pretend to be, or you know, be what you was born and submit yourself to a man. Because we already seeing stuff that women would use the system to their advantage and stuff. And when it comes down to a close, a lockdown that's prolonged and stuff longer than all the other ones, a lot of them gonna crash out. And for all you guys out there waiting for Isaiah 4:1, you're gonna have to vet these women because a lot of these gonna be popping up and stuff on the fly. You know? And guess what? They ain't changed nothing. They ain't work on themselves. The scripture says, be ye doers of the word, not hearers only. A lot of these women and men are just hearers. Right? Want you to pray for you. Want you to pray for them. But then at the same time and stuff, they got so much lip against you. You know? Right? Just imagine somebody and stuff trying to make you feel like and stuff you ain't gonna make it. And I'm talking about intentionally, right? Intentionally and stuff trying to make you feel like you ain't gonna make it. And intentionally making it seem like it's stuff that you ain't gonna make, making you feel like it's stuff you ain't gonna make it. But then at the same time, hoping and stuff that when you pray, that they'll be in your prayers and stuff. So how do you not expect for an individual to not make it, and you're saying that to them, but you want them and stuff to be, you want to get blessed every time they pray. So it's gonna be a crazy ass time because a lot of these people wits ain't there. You know, even common sense and stuff is going out the window because they have found a new profession. Being stupid is the newest thing. Ecclesiastes 10:6. You know, folly is set in great dignity. Folly goes into foolishness. They like being foolish because when you be foolish, they could always use some sort of a outlet. Which reminds me, when Yahushua came into the temple and he flipped the tables over and he made the whip and whatnot and stuff to fuck up the men in the temple who were selling the sacrifices because they was promoting. You always got a way out. Yeah, this is lawful, but it would never be obedience and stuff the first thing on their mind. It's gonna be, oh, I'm finna do this wicked ass shit, and I'ma just pay it off with a specific sacrifice. You know? You know? And that's what our people and stuff, Negro, Latinos, Native American Indians, and the Israelites who are outward appearance instead of the heathen, right? They've been used to that instant gratification. They haven't built up in the faith. And that's why a man's going to be more precious than fine gold, as it says in Isaiah 13 and 12, you know. And the reason why that's going to be the case is because they know and stuff that we've been going through this, going through that. Some of them even put us through certain shit, and yet we've been holding on. It's going to be a lot of your baby mamas coming through, using the children's stuff as leverage, right? They're going to know and stuff that you've been preaching the word this entire time. Been preaching the word and stuff this entire time. You know, and when all fails and stuff, right, when they can't get the government assistance, when they can't, you know, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to lean towards the Lord. And when that don't happen and stuff, guess what? You're going to have a whole bunch of phone calls, you know what I'm saying, trying to chat it up and stuff with the scriptures. And guess what? It's going to be a lot of Galatians 2 and 4s in there as well. Because what happens? They put bounties on our heads. What happens and stuff when they gives like some sort of deal if they be on Delilah type shit and stuff when it came down to Samson. Because look, everything's going to be a Job 14 and 5, bounds that they cannot pass, you know. But they're going to seek to try to pass it and stuff. Why? Because they're more familiar and stuff with carnality and stuff than spirituality, you know. Because when it comes down to the spirit, you can't do a lot of things and stuff that's according to the flesh, even if it's expedient, you know. And this is how they finna be, you know, to the point of some of them gonna be bloodthirsty and still not like it. Try to fake it, they ain't gonna work either. Motherfucker gonna be on your ass and stuff. Why? Because it's gonna be something off with your spirit. And it's so weird because a lot of these motherfuckers want us to be docile. A lot of them so want us to be docile so they can take advantage of it, but then still don't want to be in charge. Only thing that I don't really get about women is that they always want to be in charge. But what's that old saying? When given great power comes great responsibility. Now you handle this responsibility. You handle responsibility and stuff, then guess what? People are going to give the credit and stuff to the due people, right? And then next thing you know, so they're going to come out, yeah, I'm the one stuff more responsible. It's like, no, you're not. You know? The next thing you know, and stuff, they grabbing somebody by the shirt. What did you tell these people? Nothing. I just followed your orders, but I have to be more on scene than you. So you looking for specific credit, but you ain't finna get that credit because they see me more than the job that you were supposed to do and stuff if you want to be looked at or praised, because women like appraisal. But I say this to say that, I say that to say this. We're coming at a time where this scripture comes out. It's Sirach, chapter 12, verse 8. It says, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity, right? You know, as soon as you look like you, that's why the scripture says in Sirach 2 and 4, it says, when thou change to a lower state, no, take it cheerful when thou change to a lower state. You know, because guess what? When you in a lower state, that's when you know and stuff who really gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? You know, through thick and thin. And even for us and stuff to be so real and whatnot and stuff, for the ones that we love, they might even betray us and whatnot and stuff because they're looking at our tangible value versus and stuff spiritual value. You know? It's verse 9. It says, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. It says, but in his adversity, even a friend would depart. You know? So guess what? The time testings, man, I'm ride or die. No, we gonna see that. You know? It ain't about that no more. So I think it was who was it, Apostle Bar? And I think probably Apostle Ronlab, right? They was talking about women and stuff, right? And it's like, you ain't finna get nothing for free. And you already know and stuff, you ain't finna get nothing for free. Right? So a lot of these women gonna be looking for protection in the carnal way when it's understandable, but it ain't gonna save you. That's why it says in John 4:1, it says, no, 1 John 4:1, it says, try the spirit by the spirits, if they of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, for many false prophets. Now, it don't even have to be a prophet. It don't have to be specific. It got to be an individual and stuff that looks like an influencer. You know what I'm saying? Right? They could be a high influencer and stuff amongst other religions and whatnot and stuff and think that they got it. Well, they don't. You know? You know? There's too many movies out there and stuff where things get hard and you start seeing people break away and stuff, because when it come down to saying that continue to have faith and not quick results, people and stuff depart. And that's what it's going to be. So this is Sirach 12:9 again. It says, in the prosperity of a man, enemies will be grieved. We're finna get it blessed openly, right? And a lot of people and stuff gonna want to be able to take it and stuff, but more than likely it's gonna be something that they can't take. That's why it says in Matthew the 6th chapter, lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth rust do of corrupt, and where thieves cannot break through and steal. Because that's what these niggas want to do. Some individuals and stuff want to hinder you and stuff from having some sort of growth in the spirit and stuff, so they can surpass you, just so they can surpass you, just so they can sit up here and surpass you, just so they can make themselves better and stuff, or look better. Not make themselves better, but make themselves look better, which is which is idolatry and stuff. When you and it ain't nothing wrong. It ain't nothing wrong with having confidence stuff within yourself. But when it comes to the point and stuff that it's more about your pedestal and not about Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, that's when it turns into a problem. And this is what we're going to have to deal with and stuff, because people are going to be more for themselves, like the scripture says in Timothy's, that they should be lovers of themselves more than lovers of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, lovers of pleasure. And guess what? A lot of these people pleasure and stuff is wicked as all hell. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Jeremiah 5:28, right? They overpass the deeds of the wicked because they put salt on the wickedness. You know what I'm saying? What happens when they do it in survival state? You know what I'm saying? They're doing this and stuff for fun, for a thrill, for incitement, right? But how much more and stuff when they life depend upon it? They're going to be cutthroat as all hell. You know what I'm saying? And that's also another reason why a lot of these people and stuff are keeping tabs when it comes down to specific individuals